Hello!
Hello, hi.
I'm Shannon,
And I'm Eric.
and we're here for the Jack in the Box to read some Christmas stories to you all.
Yay.
Yay! Should we just start?
I think
Because they're
so.
really good. They're
We-
really good stories.
We picked a couple of stories that mean something to us that we really love and we'd like to share with you guys. So, yeah.
Yeah! Hi!
Hi.
So the first story is called Yes, Virginia, There Is a Santa Claus. And it's actually based on a true story. So you're going to also get a history lesson. This is hybrid learning right now. And it's about a little 8-year-old girl who lived in New York City in 1897. That's all I'll tell you. All right, should we start? Are
We
you ready?
should.
Okay.
I'm so excited. I know the story and I'm excited.
I know. Okay, here we go. Christmas time is full of joy and happiness, usually. But one year, long ago, Christmas wasn't very happy at all. Times were hard in New York City, and the weather was especially cold. People hurried through the streets, bundled up against the chill. No one stopped to smile or say hello. Christmas was just a few weeks away, but nobody even seemed to notice. Nobody, that is, except for a little girl named Virginia. Virginia loved Christmas. She loved the glittering lights, she loved the joyful carols, but most of all, she loved Santa Claus. She could hardly wait for Christmas Eve when she would set out a plate of cookies and listen for sleigh bells. And this year, she even made her very own Santa Claus book. Wow, Virginia's best friend Ollie exclaimed as he looked at the book. We should show Tom and Taylor and George. Come on, let's go. That's his voice. Virginia was a bit nervous about showing it to everybody, but Ollie was already running down the stairs, so Virginia grabbed the book and followed him out the door. At the park, the other children gathered around to see Virginia's book. Everyone was so excited, and they all shouted all at once. Last year, Santa brought me a train set, said Tom. He bought me a dollhouse, exclaimed Taylor. I got a baseball mitt, shouted George. Did Santa bring you a baby bottle, too? Said a voice.
Oh.
Yeah, Charlotte, the meanest, bossiest, snootiest girl in town, pushed her way forward. You still believe in Santa? Charlotte scoffed. Ha! That's hysterical. No one could travel the whole world in one night. Well, that's not true, said Virginia. Santa is as real as you are. It's baby stuff, teased Charlotte, as she grabbed Virginia's Santa Claus book. With a laugh, she held it high above her head. Give it back, said Virginia. Stop it, said Ollie, rushing to help. But Ollie tripped and bumped into Virginia, who crashed into Charlotte, who lost grip on Virginia's book, which landed in the mud with a splat.
Oh, I don't like Charlotte.
Charlotte laughed aloud. Face it, Virginia, she sneered. There is no Santa Claus. Virginia cradled the wet, muddy book in her hands. She knew in her heart that Charlotte was wrong. There is a Santa Claus, she thought to herself, and I'm going to prove it. That afternoon, Virginia visited a place she knew was full of answers, the New York Public Library. Let's see, Santa Claus, said the friendly librarian as she pulled book after book from the shelves. Oh, in England, his name is Father Christmas. In Holland, he's called Sinterklaas, read Virginia. In Italy, he's Babbo Natale. Ollie cried. That was Ollie. According to this, said the librarian, flipping through a heavy book, he lives in Finland. Oh, no, wait, Greenland. And he has a giant goat, Ollie shouted. Virginia looked at the piles of books on the table. She was frustrated. This is all interesting, she said, but none of it tells me if Santa is real. That evening, Virginia passed through Herald Square in the heart of the city. A man with a beard and a red hat stood on the street corner. Virginia's heart leaped. But the man was skinny and scraggly, and his beard was tied on with a string. Well, you're not Santa Claus, Virginia said. That's true, I'm not, replied the man. Then why are you dressed like him? Virginia asked. I suppose you could say I work for him, said the scraggly Santa. I try to do whatever Santa would do if he were here. The man jingled a rusty old bell. He was collecting money for the poor. Shouldn't you be wearing a coat? Asked Virginia. Well, I had one, replied the man, but someone needed it more than I did.
Oh.
That night, Virginia asked her father, is there really a Santa Claus? He began. Well, someone brought you presents last year, and someone ate the milk and cookies you left out, so logically. But Virginia wasn't listening to her father's long-winded explanation. She was looking at something on her father's desk, a copy of the New York Sun. That's it, Virginia cried. I could write to the newspaper. Well, yes, I suppose you could, said her father. After all, if you see it in the sun, it's so. Virginia went straight to her desk. She took out a pencil and paper, and she began to write a letter. Dear editor, she wrote, some of my little friends say there is no Santa Claus. Papa says, if you see it in the sun, it's so. Please tell me the truth. Is there a Santa Claus? Virginia smiled. She knew that when the Sun received her letter, the editor would surely give her the answer she needed. A few days later, Virginia's letter arrived at the newspaper office. Santa Claus, growled Francis Church, editor of the Sun. This is preposterous. We report facts, not fantasies. Look at his mustache. I love it. I don't know, sir, said Lewis, Mr. Church's assistant. Maybe you should answer it. Lewis, people rely on this paper for the truth, said Mr. Church. We need to maintain our credibility. But she's only a child, Lewis pleaded. Everyone grows up sometime, Mr. Church said coldly. He tossed Virginia's letter down the garbage chute with a shut and a loud clang.
Somebody bring me pictures of Spider-Man.
Meanwhile, Virginia sat in her room and moped. She'd been waiting and waiting, but hadn't heard back from the newspaper. I just need some proof, Virginia sighed. Virginia, her mother said, believing in Santa isn't something you prove. It's something you do. Whenever we act like Santa Claus would and are kind to others, that proves he's real. Virginia thought about that, and then she remembered someone else who acted like Santa Claus. Suddenly, she had an idea. The next day, Virginia brought Scraggly Santa a Christmas present. A new coat, he exclaimed. Just what I needed. Well, thank you, Virginia, said Virginia. Well, Virginia, he replied, today you're Santa Claus. And even though Scraggly Santa was the one wearing the coat, Virginia felt warm inside. Isn't that adorable, said a familiar voice. Virginia turned to see Charlotte standing nearby. On her face was a nasty smile, and in her hand was a crumpled letter. I found this outside the newspaper office, Charlotte said, in a garbage can. Virginia felt a hole in the pit of her stomach. The newspaper had thrown her letter away. She couldn't believe it. With tears in her eyes, she ran away as fast as she could. That night, Scraggly Santa burst into Mr. Church's office. This letter was written by a friend of mine, said Scraggly Santa. I think you'd better answer it. I'm sorry, but I only print the facts, replied Mr. Church gruffly. When people believe they make the world a better place, he said. Answer that letter, and you'll give this girl, and maybe this whole city, something to believe in. That night, Mr. Church didn't go home. Long after everyone else was asleep, he sat in his office thinking about what Scraggly Santa had said. If you see it in the sun, he mumbled to himself, it's so. Virginia wasn't sleeping either. She felt like everything she loved, presents, Christmas, Santa Claus, just didn't matter anymore. Baby stuff, she sniffed sadly. The next morning at breakfast, Virginia stared at her porridge. She didn't feel like eating. She didn't feel like doing anything. Virginia's parents were worried. They had never seen their daughter so upset. Then there was a knock on the door. Look, shouted Ollie as he held up a newspaper that was bigger than him. Virginia gasped as she read the headline. She couldn't believe her eyes. In the paper was an editorial, a message written just for her. Virginia, your little friends are wrong. They do not believe except for what they see. Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. He exists as certainly as love and generosity and devotion exists. How dreary would the world be if there were no Santa Claus? It would be as dreary as if there were no Virginias. There would be no childlike faith then, no poetry, no romance. The eternal light with which childhood fills the world would be extinguished. No Santa Claus? Well, thank God he lives, and he lives forever. 1,000 years from now, Virginia, nay, 10 times, 10,000 years from now, he will continue to make glad the heart of childhood. Virginia had never been so happy. There was a magical feeling inside her, bursting to get out. Merry Christmas, she shouted to the street below. Merry Christmas, replied an old man who was passing by. He had rosy cheeks, a snowy white beard, and a twinkle in his eye. The old man reached into his coat and handed something to Virginia. It was her Santa Claus book, good as new. With the tip of his hat, the old man continued on his way. Virginia smiled as she watched him go, and as she stood on the step, book in hand, Virginia thought the whole world seemed to glow a bit brighter. The end.
Yay.
And I should say that was written by Chris Pleahall, and the pictures, aren't they so pretty, are by James Bernardin. So
Nice.
I should have said that at the top, but I didn't.
We maybe should have explained to people, some of the young ones might not know what a newspaper is.
Right! But you should always send letters to the editor. Yes, anyway.
Nice job. I
Thank
love
you.
Ollie's voice. That was my favorite.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Worked
It's a
on
good
it.
story. And it's true. So look it up. Look up Yes, Santa. Or Yes, Santa. Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. And you'll see there's actually pictures of Virginia when she got older. And yeah.
Yep.
So,
True story.
True story. So now what's the next story, Eric?
This one's called Scraggly Santa.
No, it's
No, I love that phrase though. Actually, our next book, so this is my favorite book when I was young. It's called Santa Mouse, and I loved this book, and my mom would read it to me every Christmas. And so I love all the pictures and everything. So this is Santa Mouse.
yay.
All
Let's
right.
hear it.
Yeah. Just the cover alone, right? Okay, here we go. This is by Michael Brown, illustrated by Elfrida DeWitt.
That's a good name.
Oh, yeah. Once there was a little mouse who didn't have a name. He lived in a great big house. This mouse, the only mouse in the whole wide house. He used to play a game. He'd daydream he had playmates who were friendly as could be. While some of them would bring their dolls and dress up and have tea, there were others who would play cowboys. But when he tried to touch them, like a bubble, they would vanish. Now, through the year, this little mouse had saved one special thing, a piece of cheese. The kind that makes an angel want to sing. Excuse me, I'm choked up about him.
Are you
keeping
choked
the
up
cheese.
about the angel? He's choked up about the angel.
On Christmas Eve, he brushed his teeth. You love that picture,
I know.
don't you?
That's my favorite picture. I'm sorry.
Look at him
I know.
brushing his teeth. And then he washed his paws. Look at him washing his little paws. He thought, my goodness, no one gives a gift to Santa Claus. He ran to get his pretty cheese. And after he had found it, the paper from some chewing gum, he quickly wrapped around it. He's making a little present.
I know. It's more than I can handle.
Now, this is great because then he climbed in bed and dreamed. His bed is a sardine can, if you don't know what that is. That's also an old-timey thing. And anyway, he climbed in bed and dreamed that he was lifted high. He woke to find that he was looking right in Santa's eye. I thank you for my gift, said Santa. Tell me, what's your name? I haven't any, said the mouse. You haven't? That's a shame. You know, I need a helper as I travel house to house, and I shall give a name to you. I'll call you Santa Mouse. So here's your beard, and here's your suit, and here is each tiny, tiny boot. You mustn't sneeze, and don't you cough. Just put them on, and we'll be off. Then over all the rooftops, on a journey with no end, away they went together, Santa with his tiny friend. And so, this Christmas, if you please, beneath the tree that's in your house, why don't you just leave a piece of cheese? You know who'll thank you? Santa Mouse.
Yeah.
Yay.
That was good.
Santa Mouse. I love that book.
This is so fun. Thanks
It
for
is.
letting us do this. So our last thing we're going to read you is actually a poem that you probably have heard called "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," although that's not the original
Title.
of the poem. And we thought we would raise the ante a little here. We have a box full of special effects, sound effects, that Eric's going to use while I read the story. So apparently he's got all of them in that box.
So you
it's
asked...
like a Jack in the Box. What just happened? I'm so excited.
So you asked for any sound effect at all. Anything you can
when
think
I come
of,
to the poem.
and I will find it in this magic box of sound effects, I promise.
Okay.
Anything.
All right.
I got it all in here.
So, "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" was written 200 years ago. What? By a man named Clement Clark Moore.
That was back when there were dinosaurs.
And it used to be called "A Visit from St. Nicholas," but we know it today as "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." And there is a legend that says that he wrote this poem, this story, on Christmas Eve in 1822 during a sleigh ride home from Greenwich Village after buying a turkey for his family. What? All right. Okay. Oh, and when you hear the word courser, that's just a fast horse.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an old-timey word.
It's an old-timey word. "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." Are you ready?
Okay. You name it, I got it in here.
All right, here we go.
All right.
"'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Do you have a mouse sound?
Let me see.
Sound to mouse? Not even a mouse.
Oh, here we go.
That's really good. Okay, nice. All right.
I'm driving everybody's dogs at home crazy.
Yeah, you are. "The stockings are hung by the chimney with care in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads." Do you have anything with sugar plums?
Sugar plums. Okay, let's see. What sound
of sugar
sound does a sugar plum make? What is a sugar plum?
They're like fairies. They're magical creatures.
Okay. I got this.
Ooh, visions of sugar plums.
That's what sugar plums sound like.
That's impressive, actually. I didn't think that was it. All right, that's good. "And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn, there arose such a clatter." Oh, how about some clatter?
Oh, clatter's easy. That's my favorite. You know, nothing says Christmas like an old Christmas tin full of junk. Ready? This is clatter.
You can make this. That's pretty good. That's good clatter. "I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash." Do we have a window sound?
Window. Oh, the box.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, hold on. It gets better.
That's pretty good.
Okay. That's a window.
That's good. "The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wandering eyes did appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer."
What?
"Yeah, with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment he must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers," fast horses, "they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name."
Should I do this?
Yeah, you can do it with your Santa voice.
"Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner, on Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all."
Nice.
Thanks.
"As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly." Wait, how about a hurricane? That's a tough one. We don't get hurricanes in Minnesota.
Wait, I got it. Ready?
Okay.
"I'm reporting live from the seashore. It's super windy out here."
Perfect. "When they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew with the sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof." Come on, you've got to have little reindeer hoof.
Reindeer hoof. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yes.
Coconut shells.
Yay! Okay, reindeer hooves. That's good. That tells the story. "As I drew in my head and was turning around. Down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. Can you do that sound of St. Nicholas coming down? That's perfect. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry.
Yeah.
His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. Wait, what about a bowl full of jelly? Can you do a bowl full of jelly?
Oh, I didn't bring my jelly. Here, how about this one? Ready?
You didn't bring my jelly? Oh my God. That's pretty good. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose.
I can't do that.
You're like doing the dance. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle.
Oh, here we go. Got a whistle in here.
You have a whistle?
Yep, here we go.
That's really good. I wish I could do that. And away they all flew like the down of a thistle. Oh, wait.
Oh.
This is Santa voice. Here we go.
Oh, there we are. And away they all flew like the dawn of a thistle. You said that.
I did,
right.
yeah.
But I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Ho, ho. Or wait, ho, 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 ho. Not ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ho.
Yay! That was good.
How about that, huh?
I liked all the sound effects.
Yeah.
That worked really well.
Hey, you guys.
What?
Not you guys. You're only one here.
I'm just, what?
I was talking to them. It's snowing in here. Do you see that?
Is it? Oh,
you feel
yay!
it? Look at that. It just started snowing here in the theater.
Right here at Delico Arts, it can snow.
Yeah.
On command. And you don't have to shovel.
Because theater is magic.
And it doesn't hurt your face, and you don't have to scrape a windshield.
Yes.
It's just magical.
That's really pretty. That's really nice. I want this for all my Zoom calls.
Well, that was really fun.
That was super fun. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
We are so happy to be able to share these stories with you. And we hope you're hanging in there. Tell stories, hang out. Next year's coming. And have a beautiful holiday.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you.
Oh, and this is the song Santa Mouse to take us out.
Yeah, this is Santa Mouse by Jerry Vale.
Who's the little friend?
Hi, Amanda.
Santa Mouse. Who is it we look for?
This is
when it's cold.
When he brushes his teeth.
He's the one.
I don't know the words.
That is the words.